Good morning. I'm Jim Thrash with the Alabama Department of Environmental Management. I am the designated hearing officer for this hearing. I would like to welcome each of you to the hearing today. The subject of this hearing is the proposed revisions to ADEM Administrative Code Division 335-1. Notice of the date, time, place, and purpose of this hearing was published in the Tuscaloosa News, the Coleman Times, the Call News, and the Montgomery Advertiser on October the 25th, 2023. Copies of the certifications of these publications are submitted for the hearing record as Exhibits C1 through C4. On October the 27th, 2023, the Department also caused this notice to be sent to 2,824 individuals and organizations requesting advance notice of rulemaking. A listing of the individuals and organizations notified will be entered into the hearing record as Exhibit C5. A copy of the proposed rules was filed with the Administrative Procedure Division of the Legislative Service Agency, and a copy was furnished to the Joint Committee on Administrative Regulation Review on October the 20th, 2023. A copy of the notice was published in the Alabama Administrative Monthly, Volume 42, Issue 1, on October the 31st, 2023. These facts are attested to by Othni Lathram, Director of the Legislative Services Agency, by affidavit which is submitted for the hearing record as Exhibit C. Copies of the proposed rules have been available for inspection by the public at ADEM field offices in Birmingham, Mobile, Decatur, and the ADEM office in Montgomery. The proposed regulation changes have also been available on the ADEM internet site at adem.alabama.gov. A copy of the proposed rules are submitted to the hearing record as Exhibit B1. A copy of the summary of reasons supporting adoption of rules is submitted for the hearing record as Exhibit B2. This hearing is being conducted to provide the public an opportunity to present data, views, questions, and arguments on the proposed rules. It is open to the public, and anyone wishing to present oral testimony or a written statement may do so. Persons who have not previously advised the hearing officer of their intent to give oral testimony should complete a registration card and present it to the representative at the registration table. All verbal and written comments received today and during the public notice period will become part of the hearing record. The information in the record will be used in evaluating the proposed rules. Lengthy statements containing considerable technical or other significant data should be submitted for the record in writing. Summaries of such statements may be presented orally. All testimony and written statements should be as factual as possible and should address the subject of this hearing. This hearing is not intended as a question and answer session, and persons giving testimony will not be subject to questioning by the public. They may, however, be questioned by the hearing officer or any other representative of the Department of Environmental Management to clarify points and to develop a better understanding of the information being presented. We will now proceed to the principal purpose of today's hearing, the receipt of public comments. I would ask that each person making a statement please step to the podium, state your name and interest or organization that you represent. This hearing is being recorded by a court reporter, and a transcript will be included in the public record. The order of appearances for persons giving oral testimony will be as follows. First, a representative of the Department of Environmental Management, then any public officials, then members of the public, in the order in which they registered or filed their registration cards to give oral testimony. I now call on Brian Espy, Chief of the General Services Branch.
Good morning. My name is Brian Espy. I'm the Chief of the General Services Branch of the Permits and Services Division of the Alabama Department of Environmental Management, also known as ADEM. I'm going to read a brief summary of the reasons supporting the proposed modifications. under the provisions of the Alabama Environmental Management Act 22-22A-1 Code of Alabama 1975 as amended, the Department of Environmental Management was given the authority to adopt rules, regulations, and standards in order to carry out the provisions and intent of this chapter. This chapter also provides for the authority to cover the reasonable anticipated costs to be incurred related to the issuance, reissuance, modification, or denial of any permit, license, certification, or variance. Such costs include, but are not limited to, the examination and processing of applications, plans, specifications, or any other data, any necessary public hearings and investigations. The Administrative Procedures Act, Section 41-22-4, requires each agency to adopt rules of practice setting forth the nature and requirements of all formal and informal procedures available, including a description of all forms and instructions by the agency. In accordance with the Environmental Management Act, the Department is revising ADEM Administrative Code Regulation 335-1-1-.07, Departmental Forms, Instructions, and Procedures. These revisions propose to modify, remove, and add forms required to implement ADEM program regulations. In addition, the Department is proposing to revise ADEM Administrative Code Rule 335-1-6-.07, Fee Schedule H, Payment of Fees. These revisions propose to establish the Brownfield Remediation Reserve Fund in accordance with Act 2023-356. In addition, the Department is proposing to add Administrative Code Regulation 335-1-5 in order to adopt a Title VI grievance procedure for the Department under 40 CFR 7.90. Further changes are proposed to the Administrative Code Rule 335-1-7-.04 and Administrative Code Regulation 335-1-7-.05 to delete rules which were applicable only during the first few years of the Title V emission fee requirements, years 1993 through 1997.
Thank you, Mr. Espy. I will now call on any public officials who would like to make a statement. Do I have any public officials present? There being no response, I'll move on to members of the public. Do we have any members of the public who would like to make a statement? Having received no response, I will finish my comments by saying I have not received any registration cards of anyone indicating they wish to speak. And I, as of this moment, do not see anyone walking through the door. Is there anyone who has not had a chance to complete a card who wishes to speak at this time? Let the record reflect that there is no response. The final hearing record will include a transcript of this hearing, all written submissions and exhibits, and a response by the department to each relevant comment received by the hearing officer before 5 p.m. Thursday, December the 14th, 2023 at the ADEM offices in Montgomery. After consideration of all oral and written comments, ADEM will make a determination regarding possible revisions to the proposed rules and prepare a response to all relevant comments received. When a final decision has been made, ADEM will forward the final draft of the proposed rules, as may be revised, to the hearing record, and if conflicting views are submitted, a concise statement of the principal reasons for and against adoption of the proposed rules and the reasons for overruling any considerations urged against their adoption, to the Environmental Management Commission for its consideration and possible adoption. Once complete, the record will be available for public inspection in the office of the Department of Environmental Management in Montgomery, Alabama. Thank you for your attendance today and participation today. This hearing is adjourned.